What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, pretty much everything you need to know on a daily basis, money, investing, the stock market, and everything else. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Senator Bernie Sanders is having an issue fighting amongst his own Democratic senators, namely Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. And the debate amongst them is really starting to heat up as they narrow down to the final stages as they near the finish line.
We're back with our politics lead, and with an economic crisis averted, at least for now, Democrats on Capitol Hill are able to turn their focus back to negotiating that massive social safety net spending bill, which could contain trillions of dollars in programs for the American people, such as free preschool or community college, expanded Medicare benefits, paid family leave, as well as funding for alternative energy to combat climate change. Let's discuss with CNN Chief White House Correspondent Caitlin Collins and CNN Chief Congressional Correspondent Manu Raju. Manu, let me go to the Hill now with you. It seems that the brief moment of kind of unity that we saw in the Senate last night, Democrats coming together on the debt ceiling vote with 11 Republicans, that's already over, with Senator Bernie Sanders going after his more moderate colleagues today.
Yeah, and he made that very clear, his frustration. He, in his view, says that there are just two Democratic senators who are holding up the entire Democratic agenda. He says these senators essentially need to be on the same team here and ultimately get behind an agenda for the president, for the whole party. Of course, it's a little bit more complicated than that. There are disagreements beyond just Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, but those two are the most prominent. They are the ones who are getting the most attention from the president. They are the ones having one-on-one conversations in which Bernie Sanders himself has raised concerns that they are not divulging enough information about what exactly they want to the rest of the caucus. In talking to Democratic senators, they don't have any clear idea what Sinema and Manchin want either. They are not talking to the caucus in these private meetings, and frustration is bubbling up. Behind the scenes, Jake, I'm told on a conference call earlier this week, the progressive Democrats in the House, and one of them, Ro Khanna, asked Joe Biden to have Manchin and Bernie Sanders sit down together, hash out their disagreements. And Biden said jokingly, well, that would be like homicide. But that underscores the disagreements between the two men and between the two wings of the party. And the belief is if those two could get together, perhaps the rest of the factions within the Democratic caucus can. But at the moment, Jake, they are still so far apart. And the president, I'm told himself, sounded exasperated in talking to Democratic members about the lack of progress he's made with Sinema and Manchin so far.
One issue that Senator Bernie Sanders and moderate Democrats right now, Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, and some other moderates are trying to come together right now, is the prescription drug pricing issue. This would be a huge issue right now, which would save millions of Americans a lot of money on a monthly basis. As you can see here, the Democrats' social spending bill, aka the next stimulus package, aka the American Families Plan, aka the Reconciliation Bill, yeah, it has a lot of different names, would expand Medicare and Medicaid and lower the cost of prescription drugs. Basically, for anybody that pays for prescription drugs, would lower the cost for them. Millions and millions and millions, perhaps hundreds of millions of Americans across the country. This is kind of an indirect stimulus because if you pay any type of money at all for prescription drugs, you could perhaps be saving money on a month-to-month basis in perpetuity going forward. But it's having some difficulty getting the approval between Democrats because, well, big pharmaceuticals are spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. And Republicans don't want this to pass. Moderate Democrats are having some trouble with the language of the bills. And Big Pharma is looming, saying, don't pass this bill, don't pass this bill. And Big Pharma has long had the reach and the loom over Congress, and they're a very, very powerful industry. Check this out. Democrats weigh changes to drug pricing measures to win over the moderates. one of the last issues to perhaps passing this package, one of the final issues that could be the final hurdle to passing this package, and one of the biggest issues because this could provide a savings for perhaps 100 million Americans every single month. Democratic leaders are discussing changes to a signature bill to lower prescription drug prices in a bid to win over a handful of moderate Democrats needed for passage. House and Senate leaders have discussed a proposal that would remove one of the provisions moderates find objectionable in House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's bill, a cap on prices based on what other wealthy countries pay for prescription drugs, and have pitched the proposal to moderates, sources say. This, I'm sad if this would be go away. This is one of the main proponents of the lowering the prescription drug prices. There's lots of different sections to this bill, and what this wording of this language would say is that the prescription drugs would be forced by law to be matched to what other countries pay. Okay, so, and here's a famous tweet by Senator Bernie Sanders, and this kind of describes how it would work. Bernie Sanders says the cost to manufacture one vial of insulin is around $6. That's the cost that it costs these pharmaceutical companies to make insulin. And the cost of one vial of insulin for consumers is, for these different countries, it's $9, $11, $14, $7, $7, $11. And yet they sell it to the United States for $98 or more. There's different types of insulin and stuff like that. But look at the cost of this compared to what they sell it in other countries for. Now imagine, so they're selling it to the United States here for $98, but imagine if they were forced to, by law, sell it to the United States, and thus anybody in the United States, Americans, for the same cost that they sell it to any other country. So if they sell it to Australia or the United Kingdom or Canada or Germany or any other country, right? Say, and they pass a law that says this, right? If you sell it to the United Kingdom here or Australia for $7, by law, you must sell it to the United States or an American for the same price. To me, that sounds like a no-brainer, right? Why should you be allowed to sell the exact same prescription for $100, $98? Insulin is sometimes $600. And ironically, Joe Manchin's daughter is involved in an EpiPen scandal where she was involved in raising the price of EpiPens to astronomical levels. And this is where we get involved in pharmaceutical companies and lobbyists and how they're spending millions and millions of dollars to not want to lower the cost of prescriptions. And corporate lobbyists and greed and who knows how deep their reach is, right? And it's a really sad case. And remember that in a lot of cases that Congress is not really our friend, right? It's like they do a lot of things that is good for us. I mean, they gave us stimulus checks 1, 2, and 3. Child tax credits are really helping out 65 million children. I mean, that's taken out 50% of childhood poverty. And there's so many things that they do that do help us. But on the other hand, Congress and these congressmen and women, they get rich out of their mind for being in Congress. And I mean, when we look at just two examples like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, I mean, yeah, their salaries are like $174,000 a year or more in some cases. And that sounds like a lot, and that is a lot. But when you look at their net worth, like their net worth is, Mitch McConnell's net worth is, and different websites have different amounts here, but this website says that Mitch McConnell's net worth is $35 million. And you wonder, even if you're making $175,000 a year, how do you become worth 35 million, right? I mean, going from 100 making 175,000 a year to 35 million, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's a big difference there, right? And Nancy Pelosi's net worth here is 114 million. $114 million. And again, that's a Democrat, Nancy Pelosi. Mitch McConnell is a Republican. So again, I'm not choosing sides here. It's just some of these people in Congress, and you could look at several other of these people: 87 million, Don Baer 124 million, Chris Collins 154 million. These guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, guys. It's insane. It's insane. So, and I see a lot of comments of people saying, "Oh, if the government shuts down, or if they default, are they going to miss their paychecks? If they miss their paychecks for a week or two or three, they don't care. They really don't care." So, um, that's why I really want these packages to be passed for Americans with stimulus checks, with monthly checks, the child tax credits, which do bring 50% of children out of poverty, because those monthly checks really do help out the average everyday people. The stimulus checks 1, 2, and 3 really did help out a lot of average everyday people. Lowering prescription drug prices help out a lot of average everyday people. Say that 10 times fast. I've seen a lot of your comments in the past, and let me know down below in the comments. I've seen so many comments from people that says you can't even afford your prescriptions. Let me know in the comments if this affects you or anybody you know. I see so many comments from people saying, yeah, I have prescriptions that I sometimes can't afford, or sometimes I have to pick and choose, because some prescriptions are just hundreds of dollars and I can't afford them. And I understand that. So imagine if they can significantly lower the cost of prescriptions. And in all fairness, former President Donald Trump tried to do this. And now Biden's trying to do this. And neither of them have been successful yet. And Congress is trying to do this, or at least some people in Congress are trying to do this. Some people in Congress are maybe trying to stifle this. Joe Manchin might be one of the people not trying to pass this. Some of the moderates are trying not to do this. Some of the Republicans are trying to not do this. So really, it's an issue on both sides, and I really hope they can get some of these things passed in this next package, because there are a lot of very helpful things in this next package, as well as the Medicare benefits, hearing, dental, vision, hearing aids, lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, which would allow Medicare for 20 million seniors to have the Medicare, as well as all these extra Medicare eligibility, or all these extra Medicare benefits for seniors. So there are a lot of really good things, as well as continuing these monthly stimulus checks, the child tax credits, um, $250 to $300 per month. Remember, those are going to stop at the end of this year if they can't pass this package. They want to continue those till 2025. Now that they have to lower the package, they may have to cut the year's amount. They may have to only do those till 2024 or 2023 or 2022, maybe lower the income thresholds. They're discussing all of those now, because now that they have to lower the size of the package, all of that is up for on the chopping block, considering. But remember, they can also add a $1,400 or $2,000 stimulus check with the savings of that. I discussed a lot of that in the last video, the possibility of adding a $1,400 stimulus check on that. I'll link you to that video at the end of this. I discussed a lot of that in the last video, so I'll link you to that at the end of this. But some moderates who voted against the prescription drug pricing measure last month in a House committee vote are still not signing on, illustrating the difficult path forward for a key piece of the Democrats' agenda that is intended to help pay for President Biden's sweeping Build Back Better package. Remember that lowering the prescription drug prices actually pays for a significant portion of this package. I know that's kind of weird, because forcing the pharmaceutical companies to lower the pricing actually saves the US government through the Medicare and Medicaid programs like hundreds of billions of dollars. So they actually need to get this done. It actually saves the US government hundreds of billions of dollars, and they take that savings and then apply that towards paying for the stimulus package. So it's kind of a catch 22. There's several different savings portions of the package that they want to do. So it'll be interesting to see how they get this done. I personally want to see this get done as well because I've seen so many comments from you guys that's saying, yeah, I do pay for prescriptions, and there's a lot of prescriptions that I can't afford or they're very expensive. And saving every single month on that would be, it's kind of a mini stimulus to you because if you save every single month on those or whenever you do go to buy them, imagine if you just save whatever amount it ends up being. If you save whenever you go to pay for that, it's a it's just a pure savings every single time. Representative Scott Peters, a Democrat from California, one of the three lawmakers who voted no last month, said he spoke with the White House staff and Speaker's office staff on a call last week about ways to bridge their difference on the prescription drug pricing, but that there has not been a resolution yet. He says, quote, I think it's a great way that they're talking to me, but I don't want to overstate. I don't want to suggest that they've proposed something yet that I think will work or pass, he says. I didn't expect it to come to a resolution in one meeting, and so we'll continue those conversations. House and Senate leaders have discussed a proposal that would use domestic prices to help set a cap on prescription drug costs rather than using a lower prices paid in other countries, a move to somewhat scale back the legislation. That proposal would also allow Medicare to negotiate lower prescription drug prices, but would not extend those lower drug prices to people with private insurance plans, sources say. That would significantly scale back the scope of the measure in a move that stems from what is allowed under the complicated Senate rules used to bypass a Republican filibuster in the Senate. Peters, as well as a handful of other moderates, have concerns about the impact on drug companies' ability to innovate and develop new treatments, or so they say, right? Are they really yeah, in bed with prescription drug pricing or prescription drug companies, big pharma, right? Even here, it says advocates for action on the issue have expressed frustration with Peters and other moderates, saying they're simply doing the bidding of the pharmaceutical industry. Even I picked up on that. Drug companies are lobbying hard against the legislation and have even launched a 7-figure ad campaign against it. In addition to Peters, Representative Kurt Schrader, a Democrat from Oregon, Kathleen Rice, a Democrat from New York, voted against the drug pricing measure last month, and Representative Stephanie Murphy, a Democrat from Florida, and Lou Correa, a Democrat from California, also co-sponsored a scaled-back alternative drug pricing measure from Peters and Schrader, saying they would address their concerns about innovation. In a sign of the frustration with a handful of Democratic leaders expressing resistance on the issue, Senator Bernie Sanders told reporters on Friday he would begin calling out some of those members in Congress throwing up roadblocks on the drug pricing issue, and pointing to pharmaceutical industry lobbying and campaign donation, saying, quote, you've got lobbying firms led by former Democratic leaders and Republican leaders working overtime to try to defeat this legislation. So, yeah, they may have to come to some kind of compromise, change the wording, change the bill. And the prescription drug pricing is proving to be big pharmaceutical industry. It's proving to be a little bit difficult because, well, like as I said, the pharmaceutical industry is a very powerful, very rich industry. They're spending a lot of money on ad campaigns on this, and I wouldn't be surprised if you even see something like that on the ads on this channel. Remember, the ads are just kind of automatically chosen. I don't pick them or anything like that. They're just done automatically. So if you ever see anything like that, I don't get to choose them or anything like that, just so you know. Because sometimes I see that, oh, I seen a Republican ad on your channel, or oh, I seen a Democratic ad on your channel. I don't get to choose them. So if you ever see an ad by Trump or by Biden, I didn't get to choose it, just so you know. I always get people commenting like that. It's like, oh, Jimmy, I know you're a Democrat because I seen an ad from Biden. It's not like Biden contacted me and I got to put an ad by him. Or I seen an ad by Trump. I know you're a Republican. It's not like Trump called me up on the phone and said, "Hey Jimmy, can I put an ad by you?" It's no, that's not not how. I don't get to choose them. They're just automatically done. YouTube handles everything like that. I don't get any say in that. So yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's pharmaceutical ads on this video. So but yeah, pharmaceutical industry is a very powerful industry, and they're spending millions of dollars lobbying against Congress and even infiltrating some of Congress, Republicans and Democrats. So that's a big battle on this bill. And let me know your thoughts on that, because I really want that and that portion of the bill to get passed, because I mean, I would say, I don't know what percentage of people take prescription drugs, but I would say, if I had to guess, it's 75%. Let me find out here. Well, here, if I just ask Google, what percentage of people take prescription drugs in the US? 66% of people, more than 131 million people. So, hey, I guess 75%. That was pretty close. That was pretty close. So, 131 million people in the US take prescription drugs. 131 million people, 66%. So, two-thirds of all people in the United States take prescription drugs. That's a lot. And considering that, like, young children don't really take prescription drugs, and you could probably, like, discount them for the most part. I mean, that's probably close to 75%. If we kind of excluded them, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So again, I hope this passes. I hope that they come to an agreement with that. I hope that's part of the stimulus package. And let me know your thoughts on that. I'll keep you up to date on everything. I just did a video on $1,400 to $2,000 stimulus checks be included in this next stimulus package. I'll link you to that here in a moment as well. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. New videos come out here. It's free to do. It's free to subscribe. New videos come out every day on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to share this video with your friends and family, there's a share button down below, so you can do that as well. You can click here to watch the video about stimulus checks being $1,400 to $2,000 being included in the next stimulus package. So click on that video next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.